Something big is happening in the Vatican. Pope Leo XIV has made his first moves, and they don't seem to be by chance. One of the most talked about cardinals was called for a private meeting, and since then, things have changed. Rumors are spreading and the signs are clear, even if they're still a bit hidden. It's that uneasy feeling you get before something big happens. If the Pope has truly decided to act, we could be seeing the start of a change that will affect everything. But nothing has been officially confirmed yet. Stay tuned, because what's happening now deserves all your attention. We saw this coming, and not just by guessing. Since the very beginning of his time as Pope, Leo XIV has been careful and thoughtful. He acts in a way that shows he thinks things through, and this has been very clear in how he deals with the main leaders in the Roman Curia. The meeting with Cardinal Roche was private and official, kept very quiet. Even though it seemed like a normal event, people who know a lot about Vatican matters definitely noticed it. Leo XIV met with Cardinal Arthur Roche, who, during the last pope's time, was the main person in charge of Traditionis Custodes. Was this meeting bound to happen? Yes, but that doesn't mean it wasn't important. In the Vatican, nothing happens just because it's routine. Every meeting and every action can have deeper reasons. The timing of the meeting, what happened afterward, and the surprising departure of an American bishop, which we'll talk about later, all show that this was more than just a typical meeting. This meeting was the first formal one between the two since Leo XIV became Pope, after months of quiet and waiting. During this time, Roche, who was in charge of the rules about the traditional Latin Mass, caused worry and tension among those who wanted to keep old traditions. The fact that the Pope chose to meet with Roche now, and specifically with him, is very important. Roche is a strong symbol of the strict policies from the recent past, and his role is still key in talks behind the scenes. If the new Pope really wanted to keep things the same, there wouldn't have been a need for so much secrecy. The feeling of waiting and not knowing what's next after the meeting suggests big changes are coming soon, while the Curia watches the Pope's every move very carefully. We're seeing the first real sign, or rather the first clear hint of this new feeling. It's a change that, even though it's quiet, is already being felt even far from the Vatican. The ripples of this shift are reaching communities across the world, and the Diocese of Charlotte stands out as a striking example of how these changes are unfolding on the ground. The example of the Diocese of Charlotte in the United States is very clear. Surprisingly, Bishop Michael Martin decided to put a hold on the rules about the traditional Mass, which surprised many who were following the situation. For many, this move was unexpected, especially given the diocese's reputation for following Vatican directives closely. He didn't get rid of them completely, but he chose to delay them, and not just any time, but until October, which is when the Vatican said Traditionis Custodes should be fully put into place. This delay gave a short break to the communities that were affected, allowing them to gather, reflect, and prepare for what might come next. Everything points to this decision being suggested, or at least supported, by Rome itself. It's a clear sign that how the Vatican and local churches work together is changing. The dialogue between Rome and Charlotte is more open, more collaborative, and perhaps more hopeful than before. The news surprised everyone. Until recently, Charlotte was seen as a place with very strict rules. There was talk of churches closing soon, priests being moved, and services being pushed to the edges of town. Now, though, there's a feeling of cautious hope, showing that things are changing and that decisions from Rome can really affect local churches. The faithful in Charlotte are watching and waiting, hopeful that this pause marks the beginning of a more compassionate and understanding approach, both from their own leaders and from the Vatican itself. No official change has been announced, but we are truly on the verge of one. The atmosphere in Rome is thick with anticipation, and every small gesture is being watched closely by those who care deeply about the future of the Church. It's no accident that the first clear sign comes from a country where the traditional Mass is especially strong and well attended. This is more than a local event. It's a signal to the entire Catholic world, a statement that tradition still has a powerful voice. Bishop Martin didn't make his decision alone. He consulted with clergy, listened to advisors, and weighed the needs of his flock. His choice to lift the restrictions also came from the quiet but firm pressure of the faithful. Their unity and persistence made a difference. Letters, petitions, clear and respectful requests. These were sent not just to the bishop but to Rome itself. The message was consistent. The traditional liturgy matters. The traditional Catholic community did their part, showing both devotion and discipline. Their actions spoke louder than any protest. And they won a first victory. a sign that respectful engagement can bring about real change. There were no open fights or rebellions, just the calm determination of people who know what they are defending and why. The message is loud and clear. Faith and tradition can coexist with loyalty to the Church. Tradition, when lived with order and loyalty, doesn't divide but unites. It brings together generations and communities. And it's showing this with real actions, not just words. This is where a very important possibility comes up. The Vatican is listening, and the world is watching. Pope Leo XIV might truly be thinking about changing Traditionis Custodes. The discussions are real, and the stakes are high. Not to get rid of it right away, but to change it, make it softer, or even move past it. The signs are growing, and the pressure is mounting. And delaying the restrictions until October, specifically waiting for new directions from Rome, can hardly be seen as just a coincidence. It suggests that something significant is on the horizon. It's a waiting period full of possibilities, a time when anything could happen. It's true that the Pope hasn't made any official statements yet, but the silence is almost as telling as words. But things are already moving. The faithful, the clergy, and the Vatican itself are all part of a story that is still unfolding, and the next chapter may be closer than we think. The fact that Bishop Martin directly mentioned the chance of new rules from the Vatican shows that new things are being planned. This is a clear sign that the winds of change are blowing through the Vatican's ancient halls. It's not just rumors or guesses anymore. There's a real sense of anticipation, a feeling that something significant is about to happen. The Curia has looked at the situation again, weighing tradition and the needs of the faithful. For those who follow tradition, this is almost a miracle, a moment they have long hoped for. If things were like they were in past years, no one would have dared to suggest a change. The doors seemed closed. Now, though, it's openly expected. The world is watching, waiting for the next step. Are we about to get a new document, a new direction, maybe a clearer explanation, or even a partial return to the spirit of Summorum Pontificum? The hope is real. It's still too early to say for sure, but the atmosphere has changed. Pope Leo XIV's careful way of acting shows his method. Listen, think, then act. He is a shepherd who moves with wisdom, and if a correction finally comes, it will be hard to deny that the Pope has understood the signs of the times and responded with courage. In this case, positive signs, signs of hope, unity, and renewal. In the end, everyone can see that treating the traditional liturgy as a danger doesn't make sense anymore. The Church is called to embrace all her children, and if Leo XIV will be remembered as the Pope of Unity, we'll know it here, in these moments of reconciliation, not by adding more rules, but by finding a way for everyone in the Church to truly get along, to walk together in faith, without hidden meanings, without fear, without hard feelings. This is the path forward, together. If you liked this video, write Amen in the comments. God bless you.